Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Yes, take back control of your life. Call them today, 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. And joining me right now, as he does every Wednesday to talk some basketball, is my great friend, legendary coach with over 500 victories. From sea to shining sea, he is Billy Mims. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm freezing, Mark. I thought this was supposed to be Florida. I see I've got the long sleeves on today, the collar on. Yeah. Last night, I was sitting on the backyard on the patio, and I have one of those little fire pits out there. I use it like twice a year. Last night, I had to throw some logs on and warm up out there because I wasn't going to break down and turn the heater on in the house.
You kind of look like you're some type of like 1970s detective. That's what that looks like. You just need the jacket on. That's what you need on top of it. What do you got? Your name's in the way. Is there something you're trying to promote?
No, it's just a Nike shirt. You see, it's just, just got a nice collar, Nike. I did kind of thought I looked a little bit like a priest there for a minute, but
yeah, you're right. That's so funny. All right. I just want to start with this. Then we can complain about the Luka trade 8 months later. All right. So this just happened on the X Twitter. I want you to know this. So the other night for basketball, Desmond Bane finally showed up for the Magic and hit the buzzer beater. All right. It kind of looked like he shot it by accident because I think he said post-game the play was designed for Paolo, but he wasn't open. So it was my game. He threw it up. He hit it. They win. They won. They beat the Blazers. I know they have the Knicks tonight. That's not the story. About 20 minutes ago on Twitter, the NBA account, the official NBA, which has millions of followers, posted a video saying Paolo Banchero, great teammate. Here's his reaction of Desmond Bane hitting the shot. Right. Don't even give credit to Bane. It's about Paolo watching another guy. So what's funny is they played the audio call from Magic Radio with my main man, Jake Chapman, on the call, who I've had on the show many times. I know you've met him as well. Right. So what's so funny is Jake's like, Magic win. He's losing his mind. Magic win. What a shot. So I post, oh, man, Jake Chapman's awesome. This is the guy. So I just texted him. I wrote, Jake, that's really cool. I mean, you're on like the NBA account with millions of followers. It's been posted for 20 minutes, has 57,000 views so far in 20 minutes. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, you're on there. He had no idea. He writes back, holy bleep. I can't believe this is real. Like, his mind is blown. Okay. So that's really awesome. Good job, Jake Chapman. Acting like a maniac on the air has finally paid off. Yay!
And hey, let's. Can you do the math on this? I'm struggling with math today. So Desmond Bane finally hit a game-winning shot. Mm-hmm. So is like, if you look in history of like how much game-winning shots actually cost per player, they're great values when you got a guy that's hit like a lot of game-winning shots. How much did that one game-winning shot cost the Orlando Magic for Desmond Bane to finally make it?
4 first-round picks, buddy. That's what it cost them. It did. And I think the Heat also won on a crazy lob pass buzzer beater on Monday as well, which you've coached so many games. You've won so many games. I think there was like 0.4 seconds, not even like zero. It's like what, 0.04 seconds. Mm-hmm. They lob it. And who dunked it? Was it Wiggins? I forget. Dunked it. I would have tapped like a volleyball player. The dunk, because if you grab it, the clock's going to go. I can't believe that worked out.
Well, and you're absolutely right, because it depends on where the ball is, right? Mm-hmm. If the ball is still in your hands and the light goes on, the backboard lights go on, the horn goes off, those lights, now, again, the horn does not signify the end of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the horn. A lot of fans get, the buzzer went off. Buzzer doesn't matter. The lights and the clock are what the officials look for. Was there time on the clock? A tenth of a second left. And were the lights on the backboard on? And where was the ball when the lights came on and the clock was on 0.0, right? And if you try to dunk it a lot of times, you could catch it dunking it. You catch it, and for a split second, you're holding on to the ball.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing in that situation to think I'm going to catch it, dunk it. Now, dunks make sure it goes in. Volleyball tips don't always go in.
That is a good point. You're absolutely right. We're here with Coach Mims. So Magic tonight, they have the Knicks at home, and it's on ESPN. I won't be able to watch it, but maybe someone else can. So, yeah, that's going on tonight. Speaking of the NBA, so this happened yesterday. When I was, deep in, I was breaking down high school football playoff games coming up. You know, it was like I'm talking to different coaches, and then I'm breaking down the NFL. And then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, the Mavericks, they fired their general manager. I was like, you know what? I'm holding off for coach tomorrow. All right. I'm not talking basketball today. Nobody loves European players more than you, and nobody loves Luka more than you. It's Luka and the Joker. You go back and forth. Who should be your adopted son? You go constantly with this. Dude, so now since February, now they fire the GM. Now, what are your thoughts on the firing Nico Harrison there in Dallas?
Long overdue. And just think about this. If they had recognized that this guy was going to be a problem, or that things just weren't working out, in hindsight, you look back at it and you say, we should have fired Nico, brought in a new general manager, and then let him build a team around Luka Doncic, right? But they allowed Nico Harrison to make one of the biggest mistakes in NBA trading history, right? You get rid of a generational player, a player that, whether you're winning or losing, the fans love to come watch Luka Magic, right? So right now, and here's the other thing. Think about this. They were coming off 2 consecutive trips to the Western Conference Finals, 1 to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it rolling. Things are going right. Why do you shock the basketball world and trade what, arguably at some point in the near or not too far future, this guy could be referred to as the GOAT. He might be the next Michael Jordan or the next LeBron James. In those conversations, when Luka is playing and he's 42 years old, how many records will he have established? I mean, even this year at the start of the season, even though he's been hurt, even though the Lakers have been hurt, Luka has been putting on a show. When he's on the floor, he breaks records.
Okay. I think we had this discussion when it happened. And what is it, 8-9 months later? I don't think it was just him. I think ownership said I kind of feel like he's the fall guy in all of this.
That's a great point, Mark. That's a great point. At the time, you remember, like I said, when it happened months ago, and you and I talked about it, there were a lot of rumors swirling around about ownership wanting to build a new casino somewhere, and a lot of money that needed to go into that. And they needed to reshuffle the finances in Dallas and the Mavericks. There was a lot of rumors circulating that maybe Nico didn't have a choice. I still go back and say, I don't know as a GM if I can allow myself to make that kind of decision, to not talk to ownership. I know they have the money behind the team. I know they're my boss. They're paying me to make these decisions. But owners don't have the experience in this basketball trade world that GMs do or coaches do. You got to take some advice from those guys. You hired them for those reasons. Now, either he's the fall guy or either he was saving his own backside by saying, I got to do what they asked me to do or I'm going to go. So am I going to get fired or am I going to trade Luka? Now, if it comes down to that, okay, I understand.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If David Stern was still alive as a commissioner, I think he would have vetoed the trade. Kind of like when you had, remember when, so when New Orleans when they were the Hornets and they had no ownership group, it was up for sale. And then they tried to trade Chris Paul to the Lakers. David Stern said, no, like, this is ridiculous. You can't, it's so bad. I just want to let you know this. I don't blame him for trading him. I think ownership pressured him to make the move. I blame him for what he got, which is so awful. Why did you float it out there so that all these teams could fight each other? He took the first terrible offer, Anthony Davis and a bag of beans. And dude, in hindsight, Davis has played 9 games, 9. And I don't see people get angry with me when I say this. I think the NBA felt bad for Dallas and just gave him the number 1 pick. I'm not kidding around. And then now it looks like, oh, okay, well, at least you got Cooper Flag. At least you got that going. Dude, this whole thing is so it needs its own documentary, and we still don't have all the answers. What are your thoughts?
I think you're great on the conspiracy theories this morning, okay? And hey, Mark, number 1, Cooper Flag is no Luka Doncic. No. He may end up being a great NBA player. I don't believe anybody's ever going to put Cooper Flag in the GOAT conversation. He's not going to be a guy that's going to break, set, destroy, wipe out NBA records in multiple statistical categories. Not going to happen. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. He's a young guy that you can build for the future with. He's not a generational talent like Luka Doncic. That's number 1. Number 2, Anthony Davis. And you and I have had this conversation even before he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. He's always hurt. I think the 2 bigs in the league that scare me the most, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid. I would stay the hell away from both of them. Are they talented? Yes. Can you win with them if they're healthy? Yes. My problem is you pay a lot of money for a guy that's going to be a lot of the time out, missing games, injured out. Oh, he's got this. He's out for a few days. Oh, he's got this. He's out for a few weeks. So then all of a sudden you say, well, can we win? I believe it takes guys who can play every day to win. Okay, it's 82-game regular season and plus now cup games as well. But some guys are going to get injured and they're going to be out a little bit here and there. And unfortunately, it is professional sport. And a guy can get hurt like last year. Chet Holmgren was out most of the season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But if Chet Holmgren had been out the entire season, I don't believe the Thunder win the championship. He was a huge impact to them down the stretch throughout the playoffs and in the finals, coming back and giving them that fully healthy roster to do what it takes to be consistent and win big games down the stretch. So injuries matter. And then when you look at a player that's been injured multiple seasons, multiple times, that's a gamble. That's a risk I'm not willing to take. So you're talking about one of the biggest risks. And we've already seen into this season, he's already missed multiple games. Okay. I'm still saying this is the biggest mistake trade-wise in NBA history.
I agree with you. I think we're all on the same page here. I don't get it. If you didn't like him and there's so much backlash, why did you keep him this whole offseason? Why'd you let him make the draft picks and the free agency? It's so bad that I'm at the point where I think they have to move the franchise out of Dallas and then give Dallas another expansion team. I'm not kidding. We'll never, whatever they do, why'd you trade Luka? They can win 5 titles in a row. Why'd you trade Luka? It's literally, and you're right. Cooper Flag could be a super duper star and he has the potential. Why'd you trade Luka? That literally Cooper Flag should say not Luka on the back of his jersey. It's insane. And I still think it's BS. They got the number 1 pick. I don't believe in the ping pong balls. I don't. It's ridiculous. This happens all the time. Remember when New Orleans lost Anthony Davis, then somehow they got the number 1 pick and got Zion. Like I could go over this over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. When they lost Chris Paul, they somehow got Anthony Davis, the number 1 pick. There's this. You see this all the time. And again, I love the NBA. I love it. But you're right, Luka. What is he? 25. He's only 25 years old.
He's a kid. He's a kid.
And You know what it
Hey,
is?
but remember, this
What?
25-year-old kid was playing professional basketball at like the age of 16.
Yeah.
15, 16 years old. He's in the Euro League playing with full-grown men and putting up numbers.
You know what it is? As a guy that like, I feel like I'm now a historian of the NBA, where I just like read all these books, and just you look at the last 75 years, it's always the Lakers and Celtics. Every 10 years they get another superstar. Every single time. Every your whole life they've had a star. Those two teams every single time.
Well, you know what? You could kind of compare them. You look at other sports, right? It's like looking at Major League Baseball. Oh, the New York Yankees. You know, they're always gonna have a superstar. They got Aaron Judge right now. You know, here come the Judge. And you look at in football. You know, you've always got. I don't care whether they're winning or losing. And I know you are the Bears man, but the Dallas Cowboys name means something.
Yeah,
it's the franchise of the NFL. Dallas Cowboys. They got to be in the mix somehow. You know, in Major League Baseball, they're praying every year the Yankees are somehow in the mix. They need those big names. You look at the worst thing that can possibly happen is when you got two podunk cities playing for a championship like last year. You hate to say it. The NBA was not ecstatic about the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals. Indiana and Oklahoma City combined, take both cities together. They're not New York and LA. So at the end of the day, I mean, you got East Coast, West Coast, big cities, big names. You're absolutely right. I think, and here's the sad thing about the whole trade. I want to make you my last sad prediction.
Okay.
The ones who this trade deal hurt the most, the fans in Dallas. The fans in Dallas. Because you know what? They had that generational talent, okay? And that generational talent that they had there, Luka Doncic, was a guy from the heart. He was never going to leave. Mark Cuban was like a second father to Luka Doncic. They were very close. Their relationship was close. He loved Luka. Luka loved Mark. Again, if Mark hadn't sold his predominant shares, his predominant interest in the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic would still be a Maverick.
Remember when he came back later last season as the Lakers, they did the video tribute. He's crying on the sideline. He didn't want to leave. And look, leading up to that game, no one in the area is going, well, we better trade Luka. No one said that. You see right now in Memphis with Ja Morant, how toxic it is. The writing's on the wall. If they trade him, no one would be shocked by that.
You know, part of the problem, you make a great point there. And I think part of the problem is you get these guys when they're young and they're overachieving. They're like, oh my God, look at what we're getting. And of course, they're on minimum contracts.
Yeah.
They're not on NBA max deals yet. And it's funny, isn't it, that as they get closer to max deals, as they start to cost more money, then all of a sudden their value starts to be reevaluated. And GMs and ownership are starting to think, maybe we better sell them before we have to put so much money in them. That max deal isn't going to work for us. So I think the pressure of the money matters. And I hate to say this, loyalty is, for 99%, is a thing of the past by teams and by players. Dallas had a kid that would have been loyal to that franchise and those fans his entire career, which is really, really something that's almost impossible anymore because of money, right? I think Luka Doncic is one of those guys that fell in love with the city and the fans and the ownership and Mark Cuban, his teammates. I think he would have foregone more money to stay. He would have been a guy that would have been like some of these great players in the past, restructure his contract so they could win games. I think he would have been that kind of guy. Now we'll never know. They passed him off to Hollywood. Now it's going to be like the days of Irvin Magic Johnson when the Lakers were Showtime. It's what's funny right now. I'm wondering, does Magic go to a Laker game now and think, wow, this is a better show than it used to be? This is Showtime basketball. Because when you put LeBron James, you know, again, one of the all-time greats, arguably the greatest to ever play the game, on the court with a young generational talent, and you give them some surrounding cast like an Austin Reeves, who's really catapulting his value right now. The Lakers right now, the biggest problem they have is depth. They may not have the bench depth it takes to win an NBA championship. And again, do they have the big man it takes to win an NBA championship? If they could fix those two things, Mark, and trust me, they're not going to let Luka Doncic go anytime soon.
No, they're going to build around him. It's not LeBron. It's Luka's team. That's what you're going to build on. All right. A couple things. First off, the hypothetical for you would have been like, so you're coaching, I'm just thinking of some of your great players over the years recently, like Chris Carter, right? Who wears in Germany?
Yeah. Playing in the top league in Germany.
So imagine like Chris is like dropping 30 a night for you. And then you're like, you know what? We got to get rid of this guy. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Or who is it? Sam Daniel? Same thing. Yeah. Nah, let's get rid of him. Who is the guy?
He's playing in Lebanon right now. You know, that's same. You talk about a basketball traveler. Sam, since he left college, has traveled the world, and basketball has been his ticket to see the world. He's now making a really good salary, playing in Beirut, Lebanon. Now, I'm not saying that I'd necessarily want to go coach in Beirut, Lebanon, but man, Sam has been sending me pictures of his apartment. He's living in the high-rise penthouse condo overlooking a street that goes to the sea. He can see the ocean from his patio. I mean, this guy's living the dream, getting paid, winning basketball games, living on the high. So, basketball really, and all sports in a sense, but basketball, because it's such a global game, Mark, has really done a lot for so many people. I mean, people forget, they think, all they hear about are the Cooper Flags and the number one draft going to the NBA. Mark, the NBA doesn't have 400 players, less than 400 people in the NBA. So you look at that and you sit back and say, that's a very small population of the world's basketball talent. But if you're a player that's willing to go anywhere, have basketball, will travel, your dreams can be whatever you want them to be. And the game is the way to get there, the ticket to your dreams. So I'm proud of the Chris Carters and the Sam Daniels. And you know what's funny? I know the question you were about to ask, right? Today in college basketball, one of the reasons I'm looking to go back to the pro coaching game, the college game with NIL and the transfer portal might as well be a pro game, right? Right? I mean, guys now are playing at 5-6 schools and playing 8 years. I mean, when they say, I was laughing when I was watching the NFL. This was hilarious on Sunday. I'm watching an NFL game, and I'm just sitting back like, this is incredible, right? At the beginning of the game, they're announcing the starting lineup, the starting offensive lineup. You know how they do, right?
I know what you're going to say.
And then they're going, he's from North Carolina. He's from Clemson. He's whatever, right? And I'm going, yeah, but he only played 1 year there. He played 4 years at a different school. He played 3 more. Why is it now, you played, where do you want us to announce that you played at? You played at 5 different schools. Which one do you want to be your bio, when we announce you? It makes travesty of the whole thing to sit back and say, oh, you're going to go announce. And here's the other thing. You see Charles Barkley right now, love it, talking about Auburn. Auburn's his school. Shaq, LSU. Shaq was at the LSU football game the night that Brian Kelly got fired, right? He was on the sideline cheering on. He's got something to do with their NIL program at LSU, general manager, something, I don't know, vice president for something, some title they gave him.
Shaq's the title. He's just that.
But my point is this. Now when you got guys that played it, and here's another funny one.
What?
I saw an alumni speaking this week from the Arkansas Razorbacks, right? Football alumni.
Yeah.
And he was talking to a booster club of the Razorbacks, and they were talking about the coaching search. Is Bobby Petrino going to be the new head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks? If not, who's it going to be? And the guy came up and he said, I think we got to get back to the national anthem, not national anthem, what's the terminology? The fight song.
Okay.
The fight song, the school's
Pig Suey.
No.
I'm sorry.
Alma mater. There we go. It came out. Alma mater. Okay. He said, we got to sing. If you've seen it, you've been to college football games where after the game is over, win or lose, the entire football team goes over and stands in front of the band. The band plays the alma mater. The cheerleaders and football players on the field put their hand on their heart. They put their arms around each other, whatever. They sway and they sing word for word the alma mater. This guy speaking in Arkansas this week said, well, whoever coaches, we got to get them singing the alma mater again. We got to make that thing happen again, because he said, I think 3/4 of the team don't even know the alma mater now. I'm like, well, you know what the reason for that is? 3/4 of the team get up there and start singing another school's alma mater, one of the previous ones they played at.
That's a great point. I'm sorry I left you hanging there. I apologize. All right, 2 questions. Number 1, who was your British guy that looked like James Harden, who shot left-handed? You just had him. That's the other player I think of who could
He's playing in Spain right now, and this past week was the player of the game. He's been player of the month already. He's doing really well. Session Russell.
That's right. He was he was like James Harden. It's like the same, like, because he's left-handed and he shoot that 3.
He was built like James Harden.
Yeah.
He walked around like James Harden. He did the step back 3 like James Harden. I mean,
yeah,
I used to always joke that he was a poor man's James Harden.
All right. Here's the tough one. This is the one where I'll post this to X, to Twitter. Okay. This is the $10 million question. Will Nico get another job in the NBA?
Ooh. That's a good question, Mark. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to say yes to the question, because it takes a certain amount of experience, good or bad, victory or defeat, success or failure. When you're at that level of professional sport, NBA, NFL, MLB, whatever, right? They like to retread experience.
Yeah.
So guys bounce around a lot. It doesn't work for one team. The next thing you know, another team's hiring you, and they're going to say, well, it might work for us. So I think because of his experience, the amount of time, I mean, come on, look, we're all nailing Nico Harrison because of Luka Doncic. That's the one and only thing. And yes, it will stand out as maybe the singular worst trade in NBA history, maybe in professional sports history, if Luka starts winning multiple championships, right? Because then every time that happens, those Maverick fans will be sitting back going, he used to be one of us. He used to be a Mav. We could have been having those. We could have done it. So once he does that, then it really, really stands out even more, right? But saying all of that, there'll be another team out there that says, but look, he brought PJ Washington. He brought Gafford in. He brought Kyrie Irving in. He helped build the team that went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and made an NBA final against all odds. When they made the NBA Finals, they were the lower seed in every playoff round. And they upset somebody to get to the next round. And they upset somebody to get to the NBA Finals. So, people could look at the other side and say the Luka Doncic deal was awful. But before that, he made some pretty savvy moves that gave him a chance to be back in position. They hadn't been in that position since Dirk Nowitzki led them to an NBA title, right? Only once previously in history had they been to that spot. And Nico Harrison helped them, and Luka Doncic helped them get back. But again, the cast of characters that he put around Luka certainly helped Luka be able to do what he did and carry them to that great postseason 2 years in a row.
I can't wait for the HBO show about this. How they had Winning Time about the early 80s? I know you watched it. I watched it too. All these people are playing, Magic Johnson, and they're the logo, and Mitch Kupchak, all these other guys show up. I can't wait till we're going to see a scene where Nico's driving around his car late at night in Dallas, and he's like, should I make the trade? You think it's the right move? Are you sure? You think it is? And then like he'll make the trade, like, and he hangs up the phone. He's just like, well, I hope that works out for me. And then on the other side, you're gonna have a scene at the Lakers office, and they're gonna be like picking up the phone. They're gonna be like, wait, what are you offering? What? We only have to give up Anthony Davis? Are you kidding me? Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. Awesome.
And you know what? I have the title for the show.
Okay.
I have the title and the epilogue scene, right?
Is it called Losing Time?
Hey, this could become a 30 for 30. You know? This could be the title. What are you title for the show? Fire Nico. That's the title for the show. 30 for 30. Fire Nico. And then people are like, fire Nico. Years from now to be looking like, was it? Oh, the day the Dallas Mavericks fans turned on general manager Nico Harrison. The trade that changed the NBA forever, right? And there'll be the crowds chanting in the background. Fire Nico.
Here's my thing I've said this whole season so far. You have to wait till Kyrie Irving can come back. Now, can he? I don't know. You're on the wrong side of 30. You're a point guard. You constantly are getting injured. But my thing has always been, all right, you have to see the team with Kyrie Irving throwing passes to Cooper Flag. And then you have to see that first. No, this is a disaster. And the other guy that's completely washed up, and he's an NBA Hall of Famer, future one, is Klay Thompson's completely washed.
Yeah,
this team it's Cooper Flag. Here's what you need to do. The next GM, you need to show up, get rid of everything except Cooper Flag and start over. That's what it needs to. And if Jason Kidd has to go as well, so be it. You have to completely start over. All right.
And they just signed him to a contract extension.
You know what? We've talked this much about this. We don't even root for the Mavericks. We don't watch them. Right? So funny.
You know what? I watched the opening game to see Cooper Flag and his debut and that didn't go so well.
Well, that's because Godzilla got in the way, named Victor Wembanyama. By the way, so the Bulls took on the Spurs the other night. And, the Bulls have been a great story for about 2 weeks until people realized what was going on. Let me tell you something. 7'5" unicorn with the game on the line. He hit a 3 to tie it. Then he hit a dagger 3 to win it. Again, he's 7'5". Hit these threes. What? So I texted, all right, so I'm on a timeline with my one of my best friends and my brother, and we're all talking Bulls. And when Victor Wembanyama hit that second 3 to win, I go, well, the Bulls had a nice story for about 2 weeks. That's about it for them. Unbelievable. What? He's my he's an MVP favorite for me. I don't care. He's the top of it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to. He's in the mix. But I mean, come on. Look at the Joker. Look at what the triple doubles every night. The Joker is being the Joker. He's going. You know what I'm going to predict?
What?
Wemby's going to be in the mix all season. Luka's going to be in the mix. Joker's going to be there. But you know what? Joker's going to just be Joker. And the consistency of how Nikola Jokic plays the game, he just does everything well. He shoots it well. He rebounds it well. He may be the best passer and the best court vision in the NBA. And he's going to keep having those triple doubles. And at the end of the year, if you look at it again, like it was, I still say he got the MVP stolen from him. Okay. Twice now it's been stolen from him, right? Embiid stole it from him. And now Shai Gilgeous SGA stole it from him. So he's going to, once again, when you look at the end of the season, top 5 scoring, top 5 rebounding, top 5 assists, one name will be sitting in all 3 of those categories. It'll be Nikola Jokic.
You love it. By the way, my favorite, I've said this multiple times. So I'm on Instagram. And you get that little thing on the top right corner where it shows message. I was like, oh, maybe it's a lady dropping in the DMs. Maybe some ladies trying to contact me. No, it's Coach. And it's just how great the Joker is, then Luka is. It's the best. Keep it coming. All right, let's end with this with Coach. I know you want to chime in on the college football playoff for football. Look, I've told you this many times. Notre Dame doesn't even have to play a schedule. They're in. Doesn't matter. So they're like 12-team playoff. No, it's 11 teams. 11 teams fight for a spot. Notre Dame's in. They were 0-2, and they're already ranked in the top 25.
Look, here's the thing. I go on strength of schedule, right? They're not a top 25 strength of schedule.
Don't matter.
How many top 25 teams have they won? They have one win against a top 25 team this season.
They started out losing to Miami.
They lost to Miami. They lost to Texas A&M. They lost to Miami at Miami back when Miami people thought they were going to be a great team.
That was the opener.
They lost to Texas A&M at home, and it was a one. Now, here's what people were saying. Oh, but both of those two teams are still ranked, and they lost them by a total of 4 points. They're like 6 points away from being undefeated, right? But then I still go back to
it's a loss.
They lost those two games. Whatever way you want to shake it, they lost those two games. I think the Texas A&M game, because of how Texas A&M has played all season, that's the best game Notre Dame's played this year. 41-40.
And
that was an incredible game, right?
But you lost.
I get it, right? And since those two games, their strength of schedule is like compared to a good high school program, okay? But Notre Dame has got three things in their favor, right? They're not in a conference, they're an independent. So guess what? They don't have a league dictating their schedule. They get to manipulate their schedule every year, all 12 games. They play who they want, when they want, where they want. Okay, this year, we'll strengthen our schedule. We'll play another SEC team. They played Arkansas. Okay, they knew that was a W. Okay,
yeah.
They played the rock bottom of the SEC. Okay, next year they're talking about we're going to play a home and home. We're going to change. We're going to get this. Trust me, they manipulate their schedule to keep their name in the mix, okay? So they have no conference to win. They don't battle week in and week out between the trenches. Where are we in the conference this week? Oh my God, we're playing the top of the league. That's never a concern to them. It's just another football game for Notre Dame, right? That plus their history, the aura around the Fighting Irish, all the way back to Newt Rockne, okay? They just are they're like the New York Yankees of college football. Win, lose, doesn't matter. They're the Irish, and the Irish have to be in it. I don't like the fact that they can manipulate their schedule. They don't have to win a conference championship. They can have a weak strength of schedule, and all of a sudden they still find a way into that 12-team playoff. So this is my thing. Make it a 16-team playoff. It should have always been a Sweet 16. A 12-team playoff and 4 byes. So you give 4 teams a home game, right? You give 4 teams a bye, and you got 12 teams, right? But remember last year, the 4 teams that got byes all lost the next week. Nobody advanced. The byes didn't help them, right? Fans want to see home games. Make it a Sweet 16. Make the first round, the Sweet 16 games, home field advantage. Top 8 at home, 8 other guys go play them.
So wait. So in your 16-team playoff, does anyone get a bye?
No byes.
We all play.
No byes. Everybody plays. It's Sweet 16, right? First round, 8 games. The 8 winners go to the quarterfinals, 4 games. The 2 winners go to the semifinals, 2 games. Go to the final. You're talking 4 weeks of games, right?
Remember, okay, so you know what's funny? What you bring up, remember, last year what they decided first year, the 4 top conference champions get the bye. But since all 4 of them lost, they decided, now we're just going to pick the top 4.
Exactly.
So a conference championship doesn't even matter.
No.
Here's what's going to happen. Ohio State's going to play Indiana in the Big Ten title game in Indianapolis. Whoever wins that game is probably going to be the number 1 overall seed. The loser is probably going to be a 2, 3, or 4 seed and also get a bye. So it doesn't matter. And then the 12th team, you text me this, South Florida might be the 12th team as the 5 team.
Right. Well, also look at the 12 teams. It really becomes, and I've said this before, it's the SEC invitation.
Yes.
That's what it is, the SEC Invitational. Right now, as it stands right now, if the 12 teams played today, you'd be talking about 6 SEC teams, 3 Big Ten teams, 1 ACC, 1 Big 12, and then the best of everybody else, or what they call the group of 5.
Yeah.
The highest ranked team in the group of 5, right? So right now, if you look at the way it lays itself out every year, and again, saying that, most of the season has only been, 1 or 2 group of 5 teams even ranked in the top 25. Hey, look at you. You could have the best of both worlds. Whichever team gets in, you've got a connection to. If USF get in, Florida connection, right? There's a Florida team. Who would have said at the beginning of the year, of all the teams in the state of Florida, which one is going to be, if only one team in Florida is going to be in the college football playoffs, no one on the planet would have said, well, that's going to be South Florida.
No,
and you're going to rule out Miami, Florida, and Florida State, and even UCF. It's going to be USF. All the Power 4 college football teams in Florida are pretty much out of the picture. Miami could slip in if they win the ACC championship, but they got a tough finish to the season, Miami does. So there's no guarantee they're even going to get to the ACC championship. On the other hand, we just talked a moment ago about Notre Dame. They got to play at Pitt this Saturday. Pitt's not, they're not the greatest team in the ACC.
It could be a trap. I agree.
Pitt has had some good wins. Both teams are 7-2. Let's see if Pitt really gets fired up. This is the game of the year. This game for Pitt against Notre Dame would be bigger than winning the conference championship because it would be knocking a team out of the college football playoff.
South Florida beat the Gators earlier this year. It was like 18-16, something awful.
Yeah, big
then,
field goal.
Then South Florida went to Miami and got smoked out of the building. And then I have said this for a couple weeks. This has been the worst year ever in the state of Florida of watching like Florida and Florida State playing. Dude, when they play at the end of the year, what are the tickets? $5?
Who wants to go now? Who really wants to go?
I don't. Who is going to pay to go? I get it. It's a big rivalry game. I don't know.
And I'm sorry because I got off on the tangent about Florida teams and how surprising USF was. But if USF isn't that team, right now the next best bet is JMU. And you have that Virginia connection there. Oh, James Madison University. Would it be amazing, Mark, if James Madison University made it to the college football playoff as one of the 12 teams in the playoff? Again, no offense to JMU or South Florida, right? They're only in because of we got to take one of those teams, one from everybody else. So the highest ranked one from everybody else gets in, right? They're eliminating probably another really good ACC or Big 10 or Big 12 team. But that's just the mess that it's in right now, right? That's why they should go to 16 teams, make it a little better. And you know what? Yeah. Take the top 16 teams in America at the end of the season. That's what you should do. I don't care whether they won their conference or not. If they're the best 16 teams in the country, put them in a playoff head-to-head and let's see who wins it.
Yeah, because the way you should look at it is not only are they deserving to get in, but are they good enough to go on a run, which is a gauntlet where you got to win 3 or 4 games to win the national title. That's the key in all this.
Great key, great point you made there. See, this is my point against Notre Dame being just gifted an invitation every year, right? Because they don't go through a gauntlet during the season. They only have a gauntlet at the end. I think that takes teams from the SEC or Big Ten, and that really prepares them for the college football playoff because throughout the year, they are going through a gauntlet. And if they are lucky enough to be the best in the SEC, the best in the Big Ten, they're going to get in the college football playoff. Now they know what it takes to get through a gauntlet against some of the best teams in the nation, back to back to back. Only teams in the big conferences have that preparation, not Notre Dame.
But you know what's funny? Notre Dame made the title game last year. You forget this. They did. And you know what's the other one? Penn State went on a run with James Franklin and should have made the national title game.
Yep.
And then they fired James Franklin.
And James Franklin doesn't have a job right now. And rumors are he's going to be the next head coach at Arkansas, which they say after the Missouri game is going to be announced, and who knows. But the craziest thing is, look at this. A lot of these guys getting fired. A lot of these guys getting fired during the seasons. Look at Brian Kelly right now. Now he's going to be in battle in a lawsuit because LSU are coming out now saying we're going to fire for cause. But when they fired him, it was in response to fans like Nico Harrison, fire Nico. They were fire Kelly, and LSU fans were embarrassed. They left the stadium at the start of the fourth quarter when they got destroyed by Texas A&M and Coach Elko, who right now may be the biggest college football coach in America. He hasn't missed too many meals in his tenure. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job.
But I'm saying he's the biggest in stature, and he may be the biggest coach in America right now in success on the field. Again, we can't see Natty at Indiana. Look at the job that guy's done too. Okay. I mean, I like to call him Google me, he's the guy famous for, nobody saw this coming. He said, well, I did. Google me. I've won everywhere I've been.
I think he was at JMU also.
He was. He got JMU going. And the reason they're in this position right now, Kurt Cignetti was there. Okay. He started that football program rolling in Virginia.
I love when he said, the reporter asked him, the sideline reporter, you guys have never won at Penn State before. He goes, this team has never played here before. Not the last 100 years of football. Okay. They've been bad. And he's turned it around. They're undefeated and they're killing people.
That's my point. You are making my point right there about the whole argument about the college football playoffs and Notre Dame, right? The problem with the media and the polls and the committee that ranks, they are always influenced by history.
Yeah.
Not about what's going on right now. That's why I said, put the best 16 teams in college football right now on the field, in the tournament, duke it out, gauntlet, 4 weeks. Let's see who the national champion would be.
I've said this for a long time now. In case you don't know about Notre Dame, at the turn of the century, they're like, hey, we'd like to play the teams in the Midwest. And this is, I swear to God, this is what it is. So, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio State, you go, no, we don't want to play this Irish team. So there's some racism involved. And this is turn of the century. Okay. I don't mean 2000. I'm talking 1900. So Notre Dame decided, all right, you're not going to play us. Well, we're going to go to different cities that have a huge Irish population in it on both coasts. So that's why they go to New Jersey, Baltimore, Southern California, and they play. That's why they have that schedule.
Hey, have you ever been to an Irish bar in Southern California? I'm going to have to, after this show, I'm going to Google Irish bars in Southern California. Dude. I still to this day can't figure that one out,
I'm telling you.
No, the NBA wants to make their brand global. They announced again 12 possible sites for NBA Europe last week, right? Right? Well, they're hanging on to the coattails of Notre Dame. Notre Dame has had a nationwide brand for over 100 years. As you said, turn of the century. Notre Dame wanted to be America's team. They are the original Dallas Cowboys. If you were a college football fan, who do you root for? The Fighting Irish. I want to watch Notre Dame. Who's been on CBS television, national mainstream TV, where everybody else had to be on ESPN? No. Not Notre Dame, the Irish. We got CBS. So I got a feeling there's a few CBS guys spend a lot of time at Irish bars. There may be a few Irish executives at CBS because they have been really partners with Notre Dame as long as I've been alive. Look, you and I can't watch ESPN on YouTube, but everybody's watching Notre Dame because they're on CBS.
Yeah, all right.
Or no, not anymore. They're on NBC now. They're with NBC and Peacock, and that shocks me, right? NBC and Peacock now have the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
All right.
And I have had for a bit of time.
All right, I'll end with this. So when I go to different European cities, as you do as well, in the sports stores, the NBA logos that Europeans know is the LA Lakers because of LeBron. Like LA Lakers, they know Golden State Warriors for Steph Curry. They know that. They know Chicago Bulls because of Michael Jordan. I think those are the top three you will see. Then you will see a Luka Doncic jersey. You will see a Victor Wembanyama jersey now as well. Those are the jerseys you will see.
Well, you're leaving out a big one.
Which one am I missing?
Every time I go abroad, more and more Milwaukee Bucks jerseys.
Giannis
in Europe. He's not just a Greek freak. In Europe, Giannis is very, very well known and well liked.
The number one logo in Europe for American sports that Europeans will wear, and it's a hat. I don't know why. It's that New York Yankees hat.
You know why?
Everywhere.
I'll tell you why.
Everywhere.
You want me to tell you why?
Why?
They're business partners with Manchester United.
It's every European they're like, I'm going to be American, and they'll wear that New York Yankees.
Man United is the global brand was for many, many years. They're getting some competition now. Man United was the global brand for English football globally. They were the poster boys for English football. Manchester United, Alex Ferguson, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, Manchester United, right? So Man United, all over America, anywhere you go in America, you were seeing Man United jerseys. The New York Yankees and Manchester United ownership got together, said, we're going to make both global brands, right? That partnership is the reason you see those Yankee hats everywhere in England and around Europe now.
Everywhere. The Yankee, I'm American. I root for the Yankees. Coach Mims, thank you so much for your help. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week. All right.
Thank you, Mark. See you next week.